Hi-ho, fish folk. So those of you that have seen my previous video have gotten a glimpse of what's all down here in my fish room. But perhaps you don't really know what specifically is in each tank. Well, this video is hopefully going to take care of some of that and maybe throw some fish facts in there. Due to the number of tanks though I have, I'm not going to go in super depth with each fish, just a basic thing or two about them if you're interested in keeping, and maybe we'll do some more videos on it that go further in depth in the future. But without further ado, let's see some fish. So the first tank we'll have here on the list is this one right here, which is a 7-gallon semi-hex tank. You can already see one of the little inhabitants right there. That right there is a panda gara. They don't get too big. They only grow to be about 2.5, 3 inches usually. Obviously there's some exceptions to the rule. But he is mostly a bottom dweller. He also kind of acts like a little bit like a pleco and goes up on the glass occasionally. We do have one other fish in here, and he is kind of hiding in the corner here. But there he is. That is a powder blue dwarf gourami, to those who don't know. And he doesn't get too terribly big either. A few inches, that's about it. He'll probably need to get something a little bit bigger than this, but for right now, he and the gara are perfectly happy in here. Another side note probably worth noting, I don't name all my fish, but these two do have names. Those of you that have interest or familiarity with the show Good Omens might be familiar with these, but named by my fiance, the powder blue dwarf gourami right there, that is Aziraphale. And then the little panda gara right there is Crowley. Again, if you know the show Good Omens, you'll get the references, and if you do, good for you. Alright, so next off here we have this 20-gallon long, which is back on my workshop table as I call it. And we have a nice little community in here with live plants. Again, not going to go too much in plants, but we got a couple of different kinds of Anubias in here. Got some Java fern, some hornwort. Otherwise in here, the little guys here you see swimming all around are ember tetras. And this guy up here in the corner is a black crown tail beta. Hopefully he comes here to the front so you can see more of just how awesome he looks. Awesome black and silver color on this guy. And some of you might be surprised to see him in there, others of you may not, but those of you that perhaps are not as familiar, you can indeed keep betas in community tanks. My smallest recommendation, if you were going to do such thing, is no smaller than 10 gallons. 20 is probably more preferred, and you wouldn't necessarily, in my mind, have to do a 20-gallon long, but 20 gallons just provides more space for the beta, and if you put more fish in there with them, trying to make it a community tank, it just gives everyone more space to live and just live better with everyone. Also in here we have Ghost Shrimp. I saw him swimming around. There he is. Good little cleaning crew fish, or shrimp. Technically not a fish, but seen them as cheap as 39 cents to just 80 cents per shrimp. And while a lot of people use them as feeders to bigger fish, sometimes even turtles I believe, they are a very cheap way, and effective way for that matter, to keep your substrate, whether if it's sand like what I have in here, or gravel. They do a good job of helping you keep that clean. Trying to get a little better look. Perfect timing, Raider. This is another fish, yeah, that has a name. His name is Raider because of his black and silver colors, just like the football team, which is my fiance's preferred team. And he and these ember tetras get along pretty well in this 20 long. Tetras are probably my favorite to put with a beta because as long as you get them like this, as I call them, a torpedo shape, they're quick swimmers, so if the beta ever does get a little aggressive, they have more than enough ability to swim fast enough to get away from him and get out of harm's way. So in here we have a Half Moon Platinum Beta. He's hiding up there in the plant, so it's hard for my camera to focus. There we go. Being a little lazy right now, ain't you, buddy? Another fish that has a name. He is Phantom, and he has this 4-gallon column tank all to himself. Well, minus a couple of snails here and there are in there with him more as a cleanup crew. But other than that, though, he has had this all to himself. Plants in the middle there, just like the 20 long betas. They love some densely planted areas. Doesn't even have to be dense, but they appreciate the plants and such, because sometimes, as he's doing right now, he'll kind of hammock on them and just relax. Some people may think that's a sign of sickness. With him, it's pretty normal. He just likes to chill out sometimes and uses the plants, as I said, as kind of like a hammock. Yeah, and he's just loved life in here for the last 2 years to what it's been right now. So of all the people who have seen my tank live, or in person, whatever term you prefer, this is probably one of their favorite fish once they see him right here. This here, who's acting a little camera shy, which is not like him usually, this is Finley, my Fahaka puffer. He is a very, very young guy. He's about, I'd say about 3.5 inches big right now, which is about already 3 times bigger than when I bought him. It's crazy how quick they grow. It's said that they grow about 1 inch per month in their first year of their lives. And so far, he has lived up to that rule. Currently, he is in a 29-gallon tank. He will be moved very shortly. He needs to be moved very soon too, as he can grow to anywhere between 14 to 18 inches. So about the size of a football, give or take. Probably not quite as big, but about that. And that's his full glory. And in his new tank, which is currently being cycled and worked on, he will be able to reach exactly that. So this is one of the more recent tanks that have been put together. This is a 75-gallon tank. And there's most of its inhabitants right there. Getting a little bit of a glare from another tank there, but we got a river rainbow, we got 3 Denisoni barbs, also known as rosaline sharks, 2 scarlet rainbows, and 3 bosemani rainbows. We also got 3 clown loaches in here, and you can't see them right now because they love to hide, but somewhere in there, likely, that's his favorite log anyway, is a black ghost knife. And over in that log is a striped Raphael catfish. Again, both of them like to hide. They're usually not big fans of heavily lighted areas, whereas the rest of these guys are. They're also very good though at kind of helping to keep the bottom of the tank clean, as are the clown loaches. Clown loaches are also a great fish to have to keep pest snail populations down. They will take care of those very swiftly and effectively for you, which is a big reason why they're in here. Had a bit of a pest snail problem once upon a time. Once the clown loaches went in here though, they took care of that issue quite quickly. Plant wise, background is Amazon swords. Seeing a little bit of brown there, they just need a little bit of pruning. Swords lose their leaves a lot, they grow new ones though. Getting another, they're also sprouting some up there too, which is nice to see. And yeah, these rainbows and rosaline sharks have shared this 75 now for, well, the rosaline sharks got put in here about a week ago. The rainbows, however, have been here about 2-3 weeks now. So this tank is a relatively new addition, but it's already a favorite. This is definitely my fiance's favorite. A lot of people that come and see my fish room in person, the bigger the crowd, majority, that's the word I'm looking for, is this is their favorite tank right here. Definitely one of my favorite ones as well. As lots of plants, driftwood, the black I think really helps the fish and the plants stand out. And overall it's just Very cool to look at. Alright folks, I am going to go ahead and cut it as part 1 here. But keep an eye open, I'll have part 2 up very soon, and we will wrap up this detailed fish tour here. A lot more fish to show you, as well as some bigger tanks and even this 75 here. What's in those things? Hey, gotta come back for part number 2 and you'll find out. Very excited to show that to you as well, so again, won't be too much of a wait, I promise. But until then, folks, also, you know what, in part 2, I'll also let you guys know, let you in on some things I'm working on. Maybe some things that are on its way here to the fish room. Lots of big things coming in here, and I mean, there's for sure a couple of big things happening here. But until then, if you like this video, folks, please give it a like, share it with your friends if you so choose to, and consider hitting the subscribe button. Until then, folks, part 2 again will come out shortly with more fish, more tanks. But until then, take care, y'all.